Hello everyone. Today we are discussing the second part of unit number 4, value analysis and value engineering. So basically the value analysis is originated in Second World War due to the shortage of the essential materials. So there is the history behind that value analysis concept, that Lawrence D. Miles was the first to develop the technique and name it as a value analysis, and General Electric Company found that many of the substitutes have better or equal performance at a least cost, and he launched an effort to make the concept behind the value analysis. So it is the creative approach which has the objective, that efficient identification of the unnecessary cost. So what is the value? It is the function divided by the cost, that is the ratio of function to cost is developed by the Miles, and the functions which is provided the worth to the cost. Unnecessary cost. So unnecessary cost, that the low time of designing, lack of information, lack of ideas, lack of experience, weakness in human relation, and the multi-concept. It increases the unnecessary cost in the project. What is the value engineering in the construction management? So it included in the planning, it is involved in the designing phase, it is involved in the execution phase. So value engineering is a management technique that seeks the best functional balance between the cost, reliability and performance of a product, project, process or services. That it is intensive interdisciplinary problem solving activity that focuses on improving the value of the function that are required to accomplish the goal or objective of any product, process, services or organization. That the efficient identification of unnecessary cost is the creative approach of the value engineering. So based on the value analysis process, it is achieving the greatest of the productive process, that to make a product effective and efficient. And value means that the relationship between what someone wants and what he is willing to pay of it. So the job plan. Value engineering is often done by systematically following a multi-stage job plan, and it is also developed by the Miles. So there is a process of job plan, and it is also the procedure of the value engineering, and it is the systematic application of recognized technique which identify the function of product or services, and it establish the worth of those function and provide the necessary function. So the modern version has the following 8 steps: orientation phase, information, functional, creative, evaluation, development, presentation and implementation and follow-up. So in this step, first one is the orientation phase, and it is also known as the informative phase. So in this phase, we have to identify the issues, prioritize that issue, draft the scope and objective on that issue, establish evaluation factor, determine study team, collect the data and prepare the value study. So it is information about the gather information of background, function and requirement of the product or the system. Then next phase is the informative phase, that all members should be participate in the informative phase because all the information is necessary for the value engineering process. Next one is the functional phase, that it outlines the basic function of the product. Next one is the creative phase. It brainstorms the idea on how to improve the cost on inadequacy performance key functions, that it is having the team brainstorming session and creative thinking of that session, and we have to analyze and create a new phase, how to reduce the cost and how to reduce the time. Next one is the evaluation phase. In this phase of the workshop, the value analysis team judges the idea developed during the creative phase. So in the evaluation phase, screen the ideas for the acceptance and score the remaining idea, and we have to do the best idea about among all the methods, and we have to do the rate and rank on that ideas. So those ideas that represent the greatest potential for the cost saving and improvement are selected for the development process. Next one is the development process. So the team develops the selected idea into alternatives or proposals with sufficient level of documentation to allow decision makers to determine if the alternative should be implemented. That plan how to sell the idea to the management, identify the key recommendations, plan management presentation. Next one is the presentation phase. The presentation phase is actually presenting the best alternative. That is, it is also the reporting phase, oral presentation to the management and develop a written report. Next one is the implementation and follow-up phase. That get the management approval, make management plan and make assignment and implement the ideas it executed in the implementation phase. So basic objective of that value engineering phases are during the implementation and follow-up phase, the management must assure that approved recommendations are converted into the actions. So these are the steps in the value engineering and also known as the job plan of the value engineering. Remember, it is also known as job plan as well as the steps in the value engineering process.